that pivotal moment of you saying no to something that was being asked of you and you being able to visibly see what's on the other side of that, to your point, the money, more fame, more assets. This will probably set you up for more roles, so on and so forth. If you had to do it all over again, I already know the answer to this, but if you had to do it all over again, would you do the same thing? Make the same choice?
I would make the same choice, man. You know, of course, you know, we always think about, and I wrote a book based on that, by the way.
Yes.
You know, one of my sons asked me what I would do over again. I said to him, hey, man, none of these things stand alone. So really, you can't go back, because if this didn't happen, even if it was negative, that would have happened, you know, that kind of thing. But you kind of, you know, put a thought to it. But no, I wouldn't have made a different choice, because also there is where I am today, what I've been able to see God, how faithful. And see, until you make those God choices, you never get an understanding or seeing or living on his faithfulness. The Bible says to us to do good and dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness. And I'm feeding on his faithfulness. I am not fending for myself, providing for myself. I happen to be at the king's table, and he is feeding me lavishly, and or I have to consider as being obedient to him. That's what people are seeing and watching, whether they understand that or not, or will attest to that or not.
What's simple about what you're saying, and then I want to juxtapose to what's difficult. What's simple about what you're saying is, again, obedience is better than sacrifice. I think what's difficult sometimes about what you're saying is, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We often get stuck at the first level, right? Basic needs, food, shelter. Some of us get to that second level. But what you're talking about, I believe, is level 4 and 5, self-actualization and seeing yourself through Christ's eyes, right? That is, man, that's hard, brother. That's so hard. And I have to ask, you know, particularly given your perspective and point of view of both being on film and behind, how often do you look at a production, whether it's in progress or on the screen, and go, I see that right there. I'm sure that person struggled with accepting that part of the role, but they continue to do it. How often do you find yourself doing that?
When I made that decision, first of all, don't forget that that's why I'm watching all my friends succeed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm watching all these cats go forward. People that I ran the street with in New York, California, everybody's popping, right? And so in the midst of that, you're saying, not me, right? You know, but yeah, you see all the time, you see things that are happening, and you're saying to yourself, yeah, man, these guys are making these choices, and they're taking these roles. On the inside, I know that they're dying. I know that their families are falling apart, but the success is pulling at them. The money is pulling at them. This is what they've worked for all their lives. So they've kind of gotten themselves lost in the whole melee of this. And I just thank God that he delivered me prior to all of that success. Now, you know, sometimes when I go around teaching and I realize the gullibility of the church and the way that the church sees things, I say to myself, man, you know, if I would have shown my butt on the screen, you would have esteemed me more today.
Right.
The issue is that, would I have esteemed me more today? You know, would that have been God's decision for me? And so even though people look at actors that have done the wrong thing, and yet now, because they have a name out in the secular world, people esteem them. But the thing is that, would I still have wanted to do that? No.
Yeah, that's good. Man, listen, I have just to share this story, 90 seconds, indulge me. What you said hit home so strong for me, to your point of, look, you were watching other people do it and succeed, and this is your access card. I finally got the card. I'm invited into the club. And he said, nah, I'm gonna get a card back. Right? And they're looking at you, bro, you've been working at this for a minute. We finally welcome you in. And I could even imagine some of the comments like, you mean to tell me just for that one little scene, you're going to turn the whole thing down, Cameron? The whole thing? I grew up a good part of my corporate career in JP Morgan Chase. And I remember when the Lord said to me, you know, help people inside the company, help remove glass ceilings, particularly for cats that look like you, who came from the quote unquote hood, but now are making it, help them get it. And doing that. And then the Lord said to me, well, you need to finally come out the company and go back to helping folks in the area. Right. And so I went to Allstate for a while and ran a business there. And I never forget, when I went to leave there and go to another company, my friends called me to do it. They're like, this is an intervention. What are you doing? How are you?
Don't mind.
Yeah, you lost your mind. And then when I left in 2018 to say, I'm going to run our nonprofit full time. And they're like, well, what's a nonprofit? Well, it's youth empowerment. We do learning programs and Christian hip hop. Bruh, we coming to help you. You are not leaving. You're at the height of your career, C-level role, decent company. How you do? And I said, I'm just trying to be obedient, man, to what the Lord. And one of the things I've learned, and I'm sure this resonates with you, is the Lord doesn't give a vision to a committee. He gives it to a person.